All right, let's talk about building something that every single trader is after, but so many struggle to actually get. Real, unshakable trading discipline. We're going to break down a method to build it, not through sheer willpower, but with a simple, systematic approach, one rule at a time.
So let's just dive right in with the big question, right? Why is this so ridiculously hard? You know what you're supposed to do. You've read the books, you know the rules. But when the market is moving and the pressure is on, something just snaps. If you know that feeling, then you're definitely in the right place.
Okay, this right here gets to the heart of the problem. See, the amateur approach is to try and do everything perfectly right from the get-go. You're trying to manage risk, stick to your stop loss, journal every trade, avoid FOMO, the whole shebang, all at once. And what happens? You get overwhelmed and you fail. The professional, they do the complete opposite. They pick one thing, just one, and they master it until it's second nature. Then they move on.
In this mistake, this idea that you have to be perfect on day one is what we're going to call the discipline trap. Let's really dig into why this happens, because once you understand the trap, you can finally see how to get out of it.
So here's the trap in a nutshell. Your brain, believe it or not, can only really focus on a few things at once. So when you're trying to juggle 10 different rules for every single trade you make, you're just setting yourself up for what's called cognitive overload. Your conscious mind gets completely fried, and when it gets tired, your old emotional habits just take right back over. That's why your discipline always seems to vanish right when you need it the most.
Okay, so if trying to do everything is the trap, how do we escape? Well, the solution is actually way simpler than you'd think, and it kind of goes against what most people tell you. Let's talk about the one-rule solution.
The whole idea is this. You identify your single biggest problem, the one mistake that's costing you the most money or causing the most stress. Then, for 2 solid weeks, your only job, your entire focus, is to follow that one rule. Not 10 rules, not 5, just one. All of your mental energy goes into mastering that one single behavior.
And look, this isn't just some random trading hack or nice idea. This is based on fundamental neuroscience. What you're actually doing here is literally rewiring your brain for success.
So how does this work inside your head?
Well, it's a pretty simple 2-step process. Think of it like walking through a field of tall grass. The first time, it's hard, but the more you walk the same path, the easier it gets. That's focused repetition. You're creating a new neural pathway in your brain. Eventually, that path becomes so well-worn that you don't even have to think about it anymore. The behavior becomes automatic. It moves from something that takes a ton of effort to something that's just what you do.
Okay, so the theory makes perfect sense. But you're probably wondering, all right, what rules should I actually be focusing on? Great question. Let's get super practical and look at the 6 essential rules that are going to be the building blocks for your fortress of discipline.
Now, the most important part here is the order. You have to build this from the ground up. You start with the absolute foundation, risk management. Protect your capital. Once that feels like breathing, you add stop-loss discipline. Then you force yourself to be intentional with pre-trade planning. After that, you control your volume with trade limits, you learn from your wins and losses with a post-trade review, and finally, you install a safety net with a daily loss limit. See how each one builds right on top of the last?
So how do we put all of this together into a real plan? Here it is, a simple, actionable blueprint that can take you from being an inconsistent trader to a disciplined one in just 12 weeks.
Just look at how manageable this is. For weeks 1 and 2, you have one job and one job only. Never risk more than 1 to 2% of your account on a single trade. That is it. Nothing else matters. Once that feels totally natural, you add the next rule, and you focus on both for 2 weeks. You just keep stacking. In just 3 months, you've systematically installed 6 of the most critical habits that form the very core of professional trading discipline.
Now, let's get real for a minute. This all sounds great on paper, but we all know trading is messy. You are going to slip up. It's inevitable. So what do you do when you break one of your rules? First thing you need to drill into your head is this. Breaking a rule does not make you a bad trader or a failure. It's just part of the process. Seriously, the goal here isn't to be perfect, it's to make progress. What's going to define your success in the long run isn't the mistake itself, but how you react to it. This is why you need a protocol, a game plan for when you mess up. The second you realize you've broken your rule, you follow these 3 steps. No excuses. Number 1, stop trading. Immediately. Don't try to make the money back. Don't try to fix it. Just stop. 2, take a few minutes and figure out why it happened. Were you tired? Stressed? Did you get cocky? Be honest. And 3, you forgive yourself, You reset and you commit to starting fresh tomorrow.
But what if it's not just a one-off mistake? What if you find yourself breaking that same rule over and over again? Let's say 3 times in a row. What then?
The answer is actually really simple. It means you tried to build on a shaky foundation. You moved on too quickly. You need to strip everything else away. Go back to focusing on only that one problem rule and give it another full week of your undivided attention. You have to re-solidify that brick before you try to stack another one on top of it.
And this all leads us to a final, and honestly a really powerful mindset shift that this whole system is built on. It's about understanding the huge difference between discipline and motivation. You have to get this distinction. Motivation is an emotion. It's a feeling. It's great for getting started, but it is completely unreliable. It'll vanish the second you hit a losing streak or the market gets boring. Discipline, the kind we're building here, is not a feeling. It's a system. It's a set of automatic habits that runs in the background whether you feel like it or not.
And this right here, this is the ultimate goal. True professional level discipline isn't about gritting your teeth and forcing yourself to do the right thing. It's about practicing the right thing so many times that it becomes the only thing you do. It becomes automatic, like tying your shoes. You just do it without thinking.
So, as we wrap this up, the real question isn't about whether this system works. The question is for you. I want you to take a hard, honest look at your trading. What's your single biggest leak? What is the one rule that, if you followed it flawlessly, would have the biggest positive impact on your results? Find that rule and start there.